Hey everyone, it's Rock for Cash, the People's Champ, coming to you live from Cash Stadium. And welcome back to the channel as we look at previewing week 5 of the FNFL. But before we get into that, Cash wanted to just play a bit of a song in the background. One of Cash's favourite bands of all time, Tears for Fears. Everybody wants to rule the world. I think everybody wants to rule the FNFL, but ultimately there's only going to be one winner. So let's all keep battling it out and we'll see how we go. Alrighty, let's have a look to see who's playing who this week. Firstly, Rock for Cash up against Money Makers 9. Cash at the moment sitting in 7th spot, 2 wins, 2 losses. Money Makers in 4th spot with 2 wins and 2 losses. Cash has lost 2 in a row, Money Makers have won 2 in a row. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Cash, at the moment, it's Money Makers 119.01 to the Cash 81.59. Cash is a little bit short this week. He's got a few players on buys with Detroit and Green Bay. Still trying to find a running back to fill his team. So if anyone interested in a trade at all, we've got Miller, we've got Tate, we've got Hilton, and we've got Deshaun Jackson up for trade if anyone's interested in any of those players. So on the other side, no problems at all with buys this week for Money Makers. He's got a full team. Look, the odds are definitely stacked against the Cash this week, but never bet against the Cash. You know, the Cash in the corner is not a pretty sight. He will fight his way out. So expect the Cash to buck the trend in this one. He might be the only one that tips himself in this game, but yeah, I think the Cash will get up by about 5 points. In the next game, pretty good game this one too, should be, based on previous outings. We've got Mitch's Mongrels up against Young Remix Killers. Mitch's Mongrels at the moment are 3-1 in 3rd spot. Young Remix Killers are 1-3 in 10th spot, but don't fool yourself as to where Young Remix Killers are. They're a very, very strong side. Mitch's Mongrels got a couple on a buy. He's right with those. He's filled his side. Yeah, look, I'm going to have to go with Mitch's Mongrels only because of how they're tracking at the moment. So we'll go with Mitch's Mongrels by about 10 points. I think it'll be close. It'll be definitely the battle of the quarterbacks, Kyler Murray versus Lamar Jackson, but I think that the Mongrels will just get up. In the next game, Shiva Kamini up against Little River Giants. We've got the Shiva Kamini 2-2 in 6th spot up against Little River Giants 4-0. Who would have thought in 1st spot? Coach of the year to date by far, Little River Giants. Computer has this one at 89.38 for Shiva, 114.11 for Little River Giants. Shiva seems to have a bit of a problem with his kicker. He's on a bye, doesn't have another one in his team, so he'll be looking for a kicker just to fill that spot. Little River Giants, no problems at all with buys. Not one of his players on that bye. So, like I used to do with the Browns, until he loses, I'm going to keep tipping Little River Giants. In the next game, oh boy, this one will be interesting. Archie's All-Stars against Team Meza. I think if Archie's loses another one, he may have to replace the Altar Boys with a new set. I think he'll have absolutely destroyed them by that stage. Well, he's sitting at 2-2 in 9th spot. Team Meza 1-3 in 11th spot. Let's just say Team Meza doesn't take lightly to losing either. So, you know, these are two hot-headed coaches that could go right off. Hopefully they're, you know, separated, you know, social distanced a fair way apart on the field, or else they may go off on each other. So what have we got? We've got, Team Meza actually tipped to win this one, 111.01 to Archie's All-Stars, 109.17. So only 1.8 points between the two of them. You know, it's Drew Brees against Pat Mahomes here, basically. Whoever does well in that that matchup should win the game. no problems with buys at all for anyone in this game either. So this just comes down to fair income, just a slugfest. So, you know, let's go with Team Meza. Got to get back on the track. Got to get back on track. And I think it'd be funny for Archie's All-Stars to have to go and get a new set of multipliers. In the next game, the Dark Side versus Smooth Criminal. You know, there's a lot of love between these two, father-daughter, but when it comes to the FNFL, there's no love at all. Dark Side are 2 and 2 in 8th spot. Smooth Criminal travelling beautifully, 3 and 1 in 2nd spot. Computer has this one at Smooth Criminal 112.54 and the Dark Side 107.01. Yeah, look, you got to keep going with the Smooth Criminal. She's playing some really good FNFL at the moment. Got Tannehill up against Josh Allen in this one. Everyone else seems to be pretty close to matching each other. That again might be the battle of who actually wins this game. There's a couple of buys, but they seem to have sorted themselves out on the bench. So yeah, I think Smooth Criminal might just get over in this one. And in the last game, Little Waiters versus the Browns. Will Little Waiters be the first team to give Browns their win? Computer seems to think so. Little Waiters at 84.83 and the Browns 106.49, even with a kicker on a bye. So, gee whiz, there's possibly an upset here. Who would have thought an upset with the Browns winning? But nah, fuck him. He's Norton 4. I'm going to go with Little Waiters. I think it's going to be hilarious if he goes through the season without a win. I think the Smooth Criminal, Moneymakers, the Dark Side, I think they'd all love it if the Browns went through not winning a game. So, yeah, let's go with Little Waiters in this one. So, just to wrap it up, Rock for Cash to beat Moneymakers, hopefully. Mitch's Mungles to beat the Young Remix Killers. Little River Giants to beat Shiva. Team Meza to beat Archie's. Smooth Criminal beat the Dark Side, and Little Waiters to beat the Browns. So that's a preview of Week 5 of the FNFL. For those of you wondering, in the last video, I didn't miss Ray McLeod's figures for Week 4. The Steelers had a bye, so Ray couldn't add to his already fantastic figures, but he does get a chance this week. We will find out who Ray will be battling. So in the NFL, we've got on the Friday, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers up against the Chicago Bears. A few years ago, you'd probably look at that and think, oh my God, I'd rather watch grass grow. But look, it should be a good game, actually. And on the Tuesday, we've got Los Angeles Chargers up against New Orleans Saints. So that's 11:15 a.m. on the Tuesday. Just quickly, Ray McLeod up against the Eagles, so he should get a lot of return yards there. So just one other thing, the cash is noticing over the airwaves at the moment, there seems to be a lot more players being tested positive for COVID or influenza. So look, let's just hope that this doesn't derail our season. I note that Pat Mahomes apparently got a little bit too close to Stephen Gilmore from New England last week, and he's tested positive to COVID. So, you know, watch out for that. Could be a huge story with Mahomes out testing positive for COVID. Apparently, Tennessee Titans have got a couple that have tested positive. New York Jets have got one. Apparently, there's 31 players, obviously fringe players as well, that have tested positive, and 55 officials. So, you know, they may have to go into some sort of hub system, I would have thought, or some little bubble like the NBA. But, yeah, look, let's just hope that this COVID bullshit doesn't derail our season, because I think we're going to have a pretty good season. So that's pretty much it for a preview of Week 5 of the FNFL. Kept it under 10 minutes for you nickety, so you can listen to it on the way to work, champ. All right, with that, that's the cash out.